Join us on this week's Pembroke Towncast, where we'll be having a look through all of the events that are going on for VE Day. We'll be taking a look at the Pater Hall events page. We'll be having some really important chats about Argyle Street Surgery, what goes on there, and how we can help. And then we'll be taking a look at all the latest cricket scores. Let's get on with it.
Be strong.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Pembroke Towncast with me, Lee G. I am your host, still on my own. Join me if you want to. You'd be very welcome. So yeah, loads of stuff going on in Pembroke Dock at the minute, and loads of it very positive. So, like we said at the very start, the whole point of the Towncast is to big up the town and to shout about all the positive stuff that we do. So let's kick off as we normally do with the news desk. So on the news desk this week, there is a little bit that we need to confirm ongoing about the relocation of the police station, which we've discussed on previous episodes. So I've seen that I've seen an unconfirmed report that says the planning meeting was held and the planning meeting supported it. And the planning meeting at that point was the town council, but I can't see that anywhere confirmed. So we've just got to wait for official confirmation on that, which will be a massive disappointment to people in Argyle Street um, and common sense, really. So yeah, stay tuned for more on that. I have no doubt at all that we will be revisiting that at some point in the future. Other news this week, Bridge Hotel is being demolished. For those of you that drive past, you'll see that that's well underway now, and they're making good progress on that. So fingers crossed with no issues, no problems, that will rapidly turn itself around into a new housing estate in the near future. And when you think of it, all the stuff that you normally need to build a housing estate, the electricity, your services, your foundations, all of that's kind of there. So yeah, it shouldn't take that much time to stick up the houses. On that site. So fingers crossed that goes well. So other news this week, it's that time of year where new mayors are elected. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I don't actually know what the town mayor does. I think it's largely ceremonial, but I might be wrong on that. So that's something that we're going to look at in future. What does the mayor do? What does your council do? We're going to touch a lot on what your local council does today. It's in the news. And I thought it'd be good to have a little look around what your local council does. So yeah, this year's mayor has been nominated and elected. So Councillor Williams is mayor for this year, and Councillor Wiggins deputy mayor for this year. Lots of praise for outgoing mayor, which I believe was Councillor Goff. So yeah, lots of stuff to look forward to. And congratulations to both Councillor Wiggins and Councillor Williams on that. So let's move on to events. So first of all, we said last week, we did on last week's podcast that how Pembroke Dock would be a great place to host a lot of events. So there was an event on Saturday the 3rd in the Memorial Park, which the weather helped, but actually, what an event! What a great event for the town to have. And you have to look at that now and go, that's potentially something that we could do more often. An event in the town, maybe May Day bank holiday, an annual event, a town festival, music, kids playing, lots of things in there, market stalls on one side. We could do the carnival. loads of stuff that we could do. Now that we know that's a genuine option, that's a genuine possibility. Same as last week, we can do events, and events build community spirit. Events bring people together. They really help to gel people as a community to get on with each other, things like that. So, yeah, full respect to the council for putting that on, and everybody involved in that. I know there was a load of people. I haven't got the list, but well done for everybody getting involved in that. And if you went and you enjoyed it, and this is something that we'll touch on in something else in a minute. If you went and you enjoyed it, tell people, how much you enjoyed that event. You should have come. You should have come with us. It was great. You should have get involved. Get involved in the town. Is what we're saying to people. Okay. So what I thought I'd do this week for events, okay, is I thought I would share the Pater Hall events page. Now, this is our main um, location in the town centre, and it's a community resource. It's all of ours to use. So these are the regular events that are held there. Okay, so on a Monday we've got Slimming World 5 to 7, yoga 6 to 7:15, and line dancing 6 till 9. So the reason you've got crossover there is because there's more than one room in the Pater Hall. You've got the main hall where most of us will remember going to pantomime. So you've got your main hall, and then you've got the upstairs room around the back. So if you go up Lewis Street, and the entrance around the back of Lewis Street, just before you get to the post office way, in there, up the stairs, I believe that's where Slimming World and line dancing must be in the main hall. Yoga must be upstairs. It'll be one of the two, but by all means, I think if you click on these links, nope. Oh, yeah. We're just waiting for my uh, internet. So there we go. Yeah, so you can then go email and ask, basically. So this is all on the paterhalltrust.co.uk events page if you are interested in any events that I'm talking about today. So on Tuesdays, we've got Slimming World again, 8:30 to 10:30, and then 4 till 8 in the main hall, we've got Vibe School of Dance. We did used to have dance class upstairs as well, which was for salsa and bachata. I know because I used to go and it was fantastic, but it outgrew the hall. So that's now in Milford and is still really good, run by Martin, who is a local guy. Wednesdays, we've got men to men group from 11 till 3. Tai Chi 2 till 3:30. Really, really good. If you're getting on a little bit, like myself, um, Tai Chi is very, very good for mobility. So that's always a good one to go to. And then we have every second Wednesday, 6:30 to 9:30, flower arranging group. So also on a Wednesday, every fourth Wednesday, you have the Socialist Workers' Party. If that's your thing, then that's where you can get involved in that. On a Thursday, we have Age Cymru seated exercise. Now, my nan used to do this, and she, there's two elements to this. Okay, there's the actual mobility, and it's all based in a chair, so it's stuff you can do at home, but there's also just being in a room with other people and talking to other people. One of the biggest issues for elderly people is the isolation, the loneliness, and this kind of combines the two. It is about how do we do exercises sat in a chair, but it's also let's get around and have a chat. That's a great group to go to. That one. On Wednesday, every second Thursday, 7 till 9, we've got WI Inspiring Women. Say no more on that one. It's not what you think it used to be. It's very much a modern kind of place to go now. Again, great place to go. Now, on Thursdays at 7 as well, this is really popular. Lindy Hop swing dance class. You've seen Lindy Hop on Strictly Come Dancing. It's a bit more reform, if you like, and a bit more bouncy, a little less technical, and a bit more kind of jumpy aroundy. So that's great from there. So we got 7 p.m. We got beginners and then improvers at 8 on that. Okay, so that's always great to go to. And then I don't know what 3 or 4 week event. Disco Fit, okay. Find out more and book there. If you're looking for somewhere to do something that's a bit more jivey jumpy, a bit more fun, if you're looking to do some fitness and looking to do, you remember when you were young and you used to go to a nightclub and you just dance your backside off for like 3 or 4 hours, and you'd come out and you would drip in sweat, and then you could wonder why no one ever came and talked to you, and then you dripping. So that's what this is. Only you're meant to come out there dripping in sweat. So on a Friday is 11 till 2 is the Warrior War Room. So I don't know if that is still on. I'm assuming it is. It's not about being a warm room, it's about being a meeting place on that. Okay, but that's something that we'll have a look at as we can. I'll ask the question about this one with the council. Arts and Craft monthly fair. So I'm assuming that's a monthly one, but again, that would be on the website there. And every second Friday is a quiz night. So quiz nights are great. Quiz nights are fantastic, and more of them we need. Normally we do a pub quiz, but just having a normal quiz night, which is a great community event, yeah, that'd be fantastic. Saturdays 9 till 5, a school of dance. That's a whole day thing, split into various things. Again, you can click on the link there and go and ask them. And then Sundays, this is what. Do you remember your nan going to bingo? My nan used to take bingo so seriously. I used to, yeah, both my nans, um, and one of them would go and do like 2 books, but she'd go with kind of 3 or 4 of her friends, and she'd have a couple of sherries, and it was a nice Sunday night kind of thing that she used to love. And every now and again, she'd have a win, and it would be fantastic. My other nan took it proper serious. She had like different color pens. She would do 10 books at a time. She took me there with her once, and I was literally told, sit, do not talk, do not do it. Nanny is concentrating. So somewhere in between the two of those is this. So it is a cash prize. It is a bit of fun. It's every Sunday, and it is. Have we got a time on there? Boom, boom, boom. Oh yeah, 7:30 till 9. 7:30 till 9 on a Sunday. That is it's great fun. It's great to meet people. It's a great place to go. Okay. So things that we've got coming up. Obviously that one needs to come off, but we've got the VE Day celebration on the 9th. So we've also got stuff happening on the 8th in the town, which we've mentioned before, but we've also got this a full day, well, a full morning, 11 till 2 of events on May the 9th on that one. Okay. So obviously big week for VE Day celebrations this week. The lighting of the beacon, the raising of the flag, but there'll be other stuff going on as well. So please do get involved in that. Share your photos, and we'll talk a little bit in a minute about how we represent our town, how we as a community represent our town. So I really encourage you to get involved with that and do something positive for your town on that. Okay, let's move on to the chatty bit. So I've got a couple of bits on this week. So I was looking around. I was thinking, right, what do we talk about? I got a couple of ideas floating around, and I started looking for the information on the police station. So I went onto the town council website, which is pembroke.tc.org.uk. I believe I'll check it, but that's your town council website. Just Google Pembroke.town council, and it will come up. And I've got to say, our town council is really, really good. It's involved in the town, it does things for the town, it's accessible, it does a whole load of things that you just wouldn't think of. So I was on a bit of a rabbit hole looking for this. So I looked at the council minutes for the last meeting to see if I could see anything in there. So you've got planning meetings, you've got financial meetings, and you've got main council meetings. Um, couldn't find any information about the police station on there, but I know the meeting on it was only a couple of days ago, so it'll take a couple of days to write up the notes, get them verified, and put them on the website. So when I then went and had a look through, I thought, there is quite a bit of information on here, which is actually really, really interesting. So we're all represented by town councils here, okay, and most of them are voted. Some of them are co-opted. Okay. If you have a look on the website, and I say really good to have a look on the website. The bit that struck me is we've got some councillors who attend 36% of meetings. Most of our councillors between 90 to 100%. One meeting a month, 90 to 100%. But these are the people that are representing you. These are the people who are meant to be looking after your interests and meant to be looking after the town. So if you've got somebody there who is on 36%, now I don't know why they're on 36%. Might have been illness, might have got a job and moved away or whatever, might join it. Who knows? What I'm saying to you is get involved and ask the questions, because this is how you get involved with your town council. Okay. So the other bit that so I've got two bits from the last town council meeting, which was in March. Yeah, so the one in April hasn't been updated yet, or maybe it was. Who knows? So the last one that I read was no, it must be it because we had the mayors on there. Yes, and that was this week. So this is the April meeting. Yeah, forgive me. So what you've got on there is, first of all, there was a question asked about the anchorage in Pembroke Dock, and then second of all, there was an update about a meeting with Argyle Street surgery. Okay, so the question around the anchorage is really, really interesting, and this is why I'd encourage you all to get more involved in your town council and your county council. Okay, so support for the anchorage centre is being withdrawn. It's going to be closed down and will be sold off. Okay, when it's gone, it's gone. Let me be clear on that. Yeah, the council will struggle a lot to justify buying a new building or building a new place to do that. So when it's gone, pretty much gone. Services are being delivered from another location. So the services that they're obligated to provide will still be available, and there'll be a bus from will pick up those who use it and take them to another location. I'll be honest, I did see where it was. I don't know where that is. I don't know how far it is. I don't know if it's Milford, Neyland, Tenby, wherever, Haverfordwest. I don't know where it is. Okay, but what I do know is this. Okay, that there was a massive fuss when the county council put up its plans, expenditure plans, and this is going to cost you money. There will be an increase in the amount of council tax. Okay, here's the problem: if you don't pay that council tax, something has to go. Okay, and I've seen this in numerous council departments already. Yeah, so that happened March 1st. Oh, sorry, April 1st. Between March and April, lots of people went. And when the council gets rid of people, the work doesn't shrink with it. Okay, so the amount of work that still needs to be done by the council is the same, but you now have less people doing that amount of work. And when you put that amount of stress onto the people who are already stressed, more people will leave. Yeah, and they'll just go, I'm not going to do this, and they go. The point is the same for the anchorage, okay? That if we are going to support the anchorage, something else is going to go. What else is going to go? Either we okay an increase in council tax, or something else is going to go. What's going to go? So I know that there will be a couple of numpties out there that will scream at this straight away. Oh, councils overpaid. Look how much we're paying your council. Okay, so one, look at your town council and look how much they're being paid. Very, very little. Very, very little. And the amount of work that you get out of them is way in excess of what you pay them. Okay. That's your town council. They are not responsible for the anchorage. Your county councillors, okay, do get a little bit more. Trust me, that is a full-time job. To be a county councillor properly is a full-time job. And if they were getting paid minimum wage to do that job, the amount that you pay them would go up. That's the reality. Okay. And this is sometimes people are scared to put this out there. People that because you will get shot down. I know people. There are certain people around the county, and I could probably name them off the top of my head now that will put a comment and shout this down. Okay. So if you don't pay people, you get idiots. That's again, that's the reality, and we've seen that in the past where we try and cut and cut and cut and cut, and actually all that happens is the service gets worse and worse and worse. Okay, so if you want to deliver the anchorage, making cutbacks is not the answer. Yeah, the reason that that's going to go is because there isn't enough funding there, and if they kept it open, they wouldn't be able to staff it properly because they've got to get rid of the staff. Yeah, it's a bit like when we talk about beds in a hospital. It's not the actual physical bed, it's have you got enough people to maintain that bed? Right? Have you got enough people and enough quality of people to maintain the anchorage? If you make cutbacks, no, you haven't, so it's got to go. Okay. If you then save it, you then need to make a decision about what else. So then you go, right, okay, so getting rid of senior county councillors and all of that, people just seem obsessed by that. They have no idea what county councillors do. You know how full on that job is, and yeah, you could make cutbacks, you could get rid of people. That will affect you. That will affect you on a daily basis. Okay, and I can give you some really good examples of that. If you're trying to get anything through planning right now, okay, so our planning department has been gutted, and the legal department has been gutted because they're easy, they're soft targets. Yeah. What does the legal department do? They just write stuff. Yeah. Okay. So now your planning lead time has gone from probably 2 to 3 months to probably 5 to 6 months. That's the reality. And if you're sitting there waiting for a planning decision and somebody processing all of your information, whereas before there was a few officers that might come out and come and see you and, okay, let's have a look at that. Right, fine. Some of those have now gone. The amount of work is still there. Those officers are now trying to get around more people and still write the reports. So that's why it's delayed. So making cutbacks has an effect. And you'll see that when we talk about the Argyle Street, okay? So I also hear things like, why are we putting the bridge in Haverfordwest? Okay. So let me be clear on this one now. That's not a Pembrokeshire County Council project. It's being run by Pembrokeshire County Council, but that's paid for by central government funding coming in largely. There is a little bit, but minimal amounts. Okay. And it's part of the regeneration of the town because in, I don't know, 10 years or so, the bridge that's there at the minute will collapse. It'll be condemned and then it'll have to be removed. Okay. So in 5 to 10 years' time, the cost of replacing that bridge will go up in line with inflation. So you either take the funding while it's there, okay, and it's not Pembrokeshire County Council, largely not Pembrokeshire County Council, You take the funding while it's in, you go, right, okay, let's do something that will save us a bucket load of cash in 10 to 15 years' time. So people don't see that. They just don't follow the and all of that information is on the council website. They don't follow it through. But it's a nice little thing to put on social media. Why are we closing the anchorage, but we're building a bridge in Haverfordwest? The two are completely separate pots of money from different sources. They are not related in any way, shape, or form. I'll give you another example. Okay, this will be the last example on this one. Where there was a report from the Western Telegraph about repairing Greenhill School. Okay, it's going to cost 500,000 to repair Greenhill School. Why has it taken so long? Why have we let it get to this stage? Blah blah. Because of cutbacks. Because we had a national government for a long, long time that didn't let us do that. Okay, so yes, it is. So the funding of it is put in with Welsh government, but the reality is that that was restricted in by central government. Basically, it's complicated. Okay, it's really, really complicated. So my point is this: that there were comments on social media again. Why are we building a bridge in Haverfordwest? Has got nothing to do with a school in Tenby. Okay, two different pots of money. And then somebody put a comment, and I think it's one of the regulars who said, we could knock that school down and rebuild it for 500 grand. Well, my friend, go on then. You go do that. You go buy 500 grand's worth of cash, knock that school down and rebuild it, and then the council will buy it back off you. Because I can guarantee you 500 grand is a drop in the ocean when it comes to those schools. Like Harry Tidier was built on a greenfield site, remember? Okay, so it's a lot easier to build on greenfield sites in terms of planning, in terms of construction, when you're building something that big. That was over 1 million to build that. Okay. So sometimes the stuff that's on social media is completely beyond. And the reality, and this is why I say you've got a good town council, because if you look at the notes and the discussion on that, it's very clear and very honest that yes, we would love to keep the anchorage, but we don't know how to pay for it, and we know that something else is going to go. But we think that the anchorage should stay there, and we think that the anchorage is worth keeping. Please, can you find cutbacks elsewhere? So this is why I want you to get involved in your local town council, your local politics, because where that decision gets made, what else gets cut may well affect you as well. And as you've seen in the national news, it's very easy to make ridiculous comments on Facebook that get people to vote for you. The reality is that when you get to delivering something, very, very different. Okay. And unfortunately, when a decision is made, that decision is made. So it's very difficult to backtrack on something after that decision is made. So be careful what you ask for. There's a message on that. Okay, so in those council notes as well, you will see that Argyle Street. So there's a meeting between Town Council and Argyle Street that where they discuss what's going on. Okay, and again, this is you know this is a really emotive subject for people in Pembroke Dock. I remember I went to school on that site. Okay, and I remember when all the changes happened, and I used to go to the surgery around the corner on Diamond Street. Um, we used to go in and sit there and wait for about 3 hours, and then you didn't even used to get your name. You just the light would go or a buzzer would go. Somebody would walk out, and then you would walk in. There was no queuing system. It was really bizarre. So yeah, there's a meeting with between council and that. So where are we in Argyle Street? So I just want to throw some reality out there for Argyle Street. Okay. And this is not to wind people up. This is not to defend anybody. This is not to do anything other than say this is reality. And sometimes we need to do that we need to do. This is reality. Okay. So when Argyle Street opened, it had 17, 17 full-time equivalent GPs. 17 full-time equivalent GPs. Okay. It currently has 7 full-time equivalent GPs. That's 10, excuse me, 10 full-time GPs that are no longer there. Okay. And you have to ask yourself why. Because they're getting paid the same amount as other places. The the NHS works for them the same way. So why are they not there? The answer to that isn't in those notes, okay? Because everyone's got their own different opinions and what have you, and some of it is sensitive information, okay? But the reality of losing those 10 is that affects you. And shouting and screaming at receptionists, in fact, shouting and screaming at receptionists is going to do two things. One, it's not gonna get you what you want. And two, the chances are that receptionist is going to go, do you know what? This is not the job I thought it was. They're going to leave. We're going to get somebody else in new to shout at next week. They're going to have even less information and less capability than the ones that are there now. Okay, that's reality. As someone who's managed teams for many years, when you lose people, particularly if you lose somebody who's been there a long time, you lose a lot of what they know. You lose their knowledge. You might be lucky and you might get somebody in for a week. You might be able to recruit somebody for a week and try and download some of that knowledge in that week. It won't happen. Okay. So you lose the knowledge of the individual. So we've lost 10 GPs and all the stuff that goes around it. Okay. To give you an idea of what 7 full-time equivalent GPs can do, there is a maximum on a good day with everybody available, nobody on holiday, nobody off sick. You have a good day, 82 appointments. Okay. That covers 23,000 people. 23,000 people, 82 appointments. That is crazy. Okay. You then throw in, and they did throw in an example of one day where they had 18 no-shows in a single day. There is just no excuse for that. Okay, the amount of hassle that you have to go through to get an appointment, yeah, to then not turn up is absolutely just awful because they have people on the list. You'll be in there and you'll go, right, okay, yeah, end of the day, it's the sit and wait time. Okay. So if you've got something really bad, okay, yeah, you might get put into the sit and wait. But if you turn around and say, oh, I did need an appointment at 2 o'clock, but actually now I've got to go to the hospital. Okay. Right. Okay. So somebody then who's in at 5 gets a phone call to say come in at 2. It's just it beggars belief why he would not show up to an appointment. That's 18 appointments. It could have been that's 18 people that then go back into the system for the following day. So again, some of this is our fault. Okay. And here's the bit that we know is definitely our fault. Okay. They have offered places, they've offered jobs to GPs. And GPs are not stupid people. They look at the area, they look at the environment, they look at social media. And what happens when you put Argyle Street surgery into social media? You get people complaining. Okay. And, don't get me wrong, I've been there myself. I know it's frustrating. Okay. But I'll share my story about Argyle Street in a minute. Okay. So it's frustrating. But we're almost shooting ourselves in the foot by putting that on social media. It may sound great, and yeah, hey, look, I've got 500 likes because people think people are on my side. Yeah, the reality is that GPs are looking at that and going, "There's no way am I going there. Look at how much grief I'm walking into there. Do you know, I'll go somewhere else. I'll I'll go sit in, I don't know, Langham. I'll go up the up country. We have to compete for those GPs. Yeah. Yes, there probably is more that could be done, but we have an influence on those GPs making a decision. And that's up to us. That's up to us to go, hey, do you know what? We're going to show a little bit of understanding about what Argyle Street is going through. Yeah. Most of us that have done a little bit of research know why that is. Like, we know why 10 people have gone. Okay. And it happened in 2016. And if you don't like it, you want to disagree with it, you want to argue with it, fine. That's the reality. Yeah. We made a decision and we told a whole load of people, your lot aren't welcome here. And now we're living with the consequence of it. And sometimes, and I've said this before on here, sometimes you have to stand up and say, do you know what? We made a wrong decision here. Sometimes you've got to stand up and go, I didn't think this through, and what I said back then was wrong. And I did that on this podcast about Argyle's about the moving the police station from Water Street to Argyle Street. You know, and I sat here and I told you that, you know what, I'd made a mistake on that. So quite a lot of us, not myself, but quite a lot of people sent a message to a lot of those people in Argyle Street that said, we don't want your lot here. And they went, okay, we'll go elsewhere. And we're still doing that. We're still perpetuating that on social media. So if you really want to have an influence, if you really want to have an impact on doctors coming to Argyle Street, start sharing your positive news. Start sharing that actually, if there were 82 appointments in a day, 82 people get seen, then that's a good thing. Okay. So my myself and my wife have both been through the ringer over the last couple of years. And when we went to Argyle Street, yes, it took us a couple of days to get an appointment, but actually, when you're in the system works, and the people that are there are really, really good, and they care for you. So I had to, I won't bore you with the details of what I went through, but I had quite a serious operation, and then I had to go. So that was kicked off by a visit to Argyle Street. I then pinged back and forth to the hospital until it got to the point where actually the hospital went, okay, you can't go home. We got to do this operation and we got to do it now. I then went back to Argyle Street for aftercare to remove stitches, staples, make sure wounds were okay. And you know what? Absolutely bang on, superb care for 6 weeks, I think it was. I had to go back and have various staples and stuff removed over 6 weeks. Absolutely superb, absolutely fantastic. People were courteous. People were honest with me. You know, this is going to hurt. I'm taking a staple out of you. There's a lump of metal that's holding your skin together at the minute, and your skin is starting to grow over the top of that. So I need to take that staple out, and that might hurt. Yeah. They could not do enough for me, and the same for my wife when my wife was going through it, and my wife is still going through it now. Okay, she's at the end of her care, but when we need the NHS is absolutely there for us, and that starts at the GP station, the GP station, the GP surgery, and we need to support it. If you want to get GPs into Pembroke Dock, then you can do something about it simply by posting positive stories about it, having an understanding of what they're going through at the minute. Nobody in that state in that surgery is sitting there going, everything's okay, everything's cool, this is all fine. Okay. Every person in there knows how understaffed they are, and every single person in there wants that to be a better service for you, for their town. But they cannot click their fingers and make it happen. It's got to be a town effort. It's got to be, you know, Let's big up when we do recruit a GP. Let's big up that GP. Let's big them up and say, yeah, hey, welcome to our town. Welcome to Pembroke Dock and Pembroke. If there's anything that you need, we will help you. You know, come to the events at the Pater Hall. Come and let us know who you are, and we will welcome you to our town. And we absolutely have to deliver on it because that's how you solve that problem. You don't solve that problem by posting rubbish on social media about, yeah, I've been trying for 2 days to get a an appointment, because we're all in the same boat. And yeah, it ain't great, but that's not the way to solve it. So I say, go and read the meeting notes which are on your town council website. It is a really, really good read. Really, really good read. And we, as people, it's kind of when you talk about events, building community. If if you're a GP and you're looking at an area and you can see that there's regular events going on, and people are able to have a rational conversation about things, and they can come in and they go, do you know what? I can make a difference to that town, and if I make a difference to that town, I'll be welcomed, and uh, I'll be loved. Yeah. So you can influence that. You can do something about it, but you can't do anything about it sitting on social media complaining. Okay. So go and have a look on the council website. It's a really, really good read. I say we got an excellent town council. It is well worth a look on that. Okay. So let's move on then to Sports Desk. Okay, so let's have a look at the Sports Desk then. So this is allwellsport.co.uk, and this is probably the best place to get sports information in the county. Okay, so Division 1, here we go in Division 1. So we got Cresselly, 299 for 7, beat Berta. 299 for 7 is a hell of a score. That must have been a really good batting pitch there. So we got Loreni as well. Loreni beat Langham by 7 wickets, 144 for 3, and bowled out Langham 141. That was a close one, but well done, boys. And then Carew down the bottom here as well, 184 for 6. They beat Whitland, bowled out for 156. So that's a good start to the season. There you can see the table. So we've got Carew top of the table on 38 points, Cresselly in third on 36, and Loreni in fourth on 27 points. So that's looking pretty good for local sides. And then this is the big one this week. Fixtures for this Saturday, 10th of May, Carew will host Saundersfoot, first and second in the league. That's looking quite tasty already. Cresselly travel to Haverfordwest. That's always competitive. That's always a really tough match, that one. And then Loreni host Herbernston as well. So realistically, I'd expect Loreni to beat Herbernston. Carew against Saundersfoot is going to be an epic one. I would expect Cresselly to beat Haverfordwest. So I'm going 3 home wins there for our sides this weekend. So Division 2, we got Carew seconds, lost to Hook, 27 runs. Cresselly seconds, beat Johnston. So they bowled Johnston out. No, they didn't bowl them out. They restricted them. Oh, crikey, I'm reading this wrongly now. So Johnston set 233 for 3, and then Cresselly passed that for 6 wickets. There we go. We get there in the end. So the table, looking at that, we've got Pembroke top there. We've got Cresselly seconds, kind of mid-table. Carew seconds, 3 off the bottom there. So not a great start to the season in Division 2, but plenty to come. It's early days yet. So this weekend, Cresselly seconds host Hook. And Carew seconds travel over to St Ishmael's. Lovely pitch to play on. Middle of nowhere, peace and quiet. Fantastic. Let's have a look at Division 3 then. So this is the one we're interested in. So where are we? Pembroke Dock, 108 for 2, beat Stackpole by 8 wickets. So the pass 107 to bowl Stackpole out for 107 is cracking, boys. Really, really good on that. And to pass that for 2 wickets, yeah, cracking. That's superb, that is. And let's have a look at the table. So the Dock are 1, 2, 3, fourth in the table on 25 points. 1-1 lost one, but looking good. And the fixtures for this weekend, we travel to Hook seconds. Again, lovely little pitch, Hook out there. So I'm going to say that the Dock are going to come away with a win on that one. I just got a nice little feeling that that's the one that we're gonna take. Okay, into Division 4. So Loreni seconds lost to Saundersfoot seconds. Yeah, that's a poor score, boys. Yeah, you've got to admit, 62 all out is a really poor score there. And then Carew thirds lost to Pembroke seconds there, 118 for 1, all out for 113. Carew thirds all out for 113. So yeah, that's not a great one. So we can see Carew thirds bottom of the table in Division 4, and then Loreni seconds are 2 places above them on that. So yeah, bit of work to do there in Division 4. Division 5. Let's see. So we've got Cresseli thirds, lost to Lethbridge seconds, and then Herbernston seconds, lost to Pembroke Dock seconds. So these are my team. The second Pembroke Dock seconds, they were the team that I used to play for, and that is absolutely belting. The fact that they won by 1 run, where they bowled Herbernston out for 153, cracking, boys. I love that. So where are we in the table? The seconds are in third, and then Cresseli thirds are 1 off the bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're 7th on 17 points. So Pembroke Dock seconds on 29 points, third in the table. 1-1 loss, 1 fixtures for this week. So Pembroke Dock seconds, host Hundleton seconds. Again, there's a little bit of niggle in that. It's close enough to be a local-ish derby on that. So that'll be a cracking game. And then Cresseli thirds travel to Neyland thirds on that one. So we'll just have a quick look in Division 6, just because Division 6 is a confusing league, I'll be honest. So this Haverfordwest Cresseli team, somebody please tell me what that is and how that worked. But they beat Kilgetty seconds. And I think, yeah, that's the limit of our involvement in that one. And that table just looks bloody confusing. Fixtures this week. Well, there you go. So Haverfordwest Cresseli against Woodland Third. That looks like that's the only fixture for this week. Somebody will explain how Division 6 works for me at some point in the future. Okay, that is the end of our sports desk. So, as always, thank you for bearing with it. And so, I'm still looking for fellow presenters, and we are. A lot of stuff has happened. The last couple of weeks, I've only been able to do 1 or 2 a week. A lot of stuff is happening in the background. A lot of stuff is happening in the background. There are sponsors. There are people that want to promote us. There are people that want to help us put a towncast in every town in Pembroke Dock. Every town in Pembroke Dock. Every town in Pembrokeshire, based on what we do in Pembroke Dock. So if you want to come and get involved, please do, because if you're listening at this point, most people will get about halfway through and then pause it and then maybe listen to the second half. But if you're with me at this point, then you're the kind of person that cares about this town. and you're the kind of people that I want to have on here with me, and eventually take over so I can go and help set up all the other towncasts. Um, it does genuinely feel like you're doing something good for the town. I did get someone say I was shopping in Tesco's on Saturday, and someone said, "You're the Towncast guy, aren't you?" So I was like, "Yeah, I am." So yeah, if you fancy a little bit of it, come and join me, because this is really good fun, guys. This is really good fun to do, and you will enjoy it. I can promise you that. Drop me a line, ilovetowncast@gmail.com, or just post on our socials. That would be great. By all means, comment on our YouTube posts, comment on our social media posts, because this is for the town. It's for the town, by the town, and this is all about getting you involved. And if there's something you want me to cover in future weeks, so I've got a little bit of list of them. On that list so far is the Cleddau Hotel and what's going there. We've also got what is the Port of Pembroke, and what's happening in the Port of Pembroke, what's going where, how's that project moving along, and do we need banks in the town centre? Yeah, how does banking in the town centre work? So those are all in the future, but for now, I want to thank you for your time. I hope you have a great week, and until next week, all the best. Toodle pips.
Be strong. Be strong.